Hi, it's Luan from Detached, and it's been a busy week for me with the Neptune format. I will tell you the whole story now. The main reason for me to get this printer is the big print volume it has. I had choices between this one and Neptune 3 Max, but this thing won because it has faster speed. Anyway, last week I talked about the reparation that I did before my big project, including the slicer. I used the closures that I made and the test print. If you want to check the link, it's right here. After all of that, I was so happy to start my project, and guess what? It failed and failed and failed. It took me 4 times printing to get it to work at a certain level. The first try I did is I started the print and I noticed the ripples, like you can see here. So I started the print and I thought maybe the tension of the belt, so I tightened all of the belts and I restarted. The second try, the first layers were perfectly fine, so I was so happy, and I went to bed and let it print for 10 hours, and here's the result. The first layers was good, but the second layer is such a mess. It didn't attach to the first layer. Like you can see here, you can be able to lift off the first layer easily. It will last very bad. You see, the second layer was very bad in this. And I got annoyed. I did tighten all of the belts, so I said, fine, let's try to print a test piece, which is this one. And this come out perfectly fine, like all layer is attached and very well. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna give it one more try. Then I start for the 4th time. I print it again, and here's the awesome result I got after all of that hassles and multiple times of bad leveling. Still the same. The first layer was perfect. The second layer was completely detected, like you can see here. I can put my finger between the layers. It's the second layer. The first and the second layer was like this. Okay? That's when I was really pissed. So I turned off the machine and I took a break. And then I thought maybe the reason is not the printer, but the slicer. Because so far I've been using, for this model, I use the Orca slicer. So I want to give it the last chance before I throw it away. So I slice it with the Elegoo Cura version. And the first layer, you can still see the ripples over it. Since I retightened on the belt, I think maybe the nozzle, the flow from the nozzle is too much for the first layer. So I tried to raise the nozzle just a little bit, like 0.05 millimeter high up. It not completely fixed. It doesn't completely fix the problem, but it reduced so much. Like you could see the difference in the photo here, that before and after I raised the nozzle 0.05 millimeter, so it fixed the ripple problem. And guess what? And the second layers, it attacked very well to the first layer. It's very nice, and the print came out perfectly fine after 10 hours of printing. Finally, I wanted to bring my main part, which will take around 40 hours to finish. It is almost winter in Canada now, and it's quite cold, and that's the reason why I wanted to have a closure before starting this project. I used the same closure like I talked with you last time, the ender max size, turn it 90 degrees and half cover it. And this time I covered the other half using a styrofoam sheet that came with the 3D printer, and it covered it well, like you see it here. This piece is quite big, it's 1.4 kilos, so I knew that I will have to change the filament during the printing time. And it was very tricky because with that high speed, you know, any touch or any effect on the printer could create layer shifted, could create lines and marks, and I didn't want that, but I have no other choice. Luckily, I managed to change the filament when it was in the infill area, so it's good. It passed that layer without problem. There's no lines or marks, and I was happy. But kind of happy too early because I did get layer shifted at the different heights. It usually happens at the bridge or when it changes the geometry. Like you can see here, one of the bridges here, you got the layer shifted. Luckily, the shifted amount is not so much, so you can easily fix it with sandpaper, and it's fine for me with that. I don't want to reprint another piece with 40 hours and I'm not sure that it's gonna fix it or not. Sanding is okay for me and I'm happy with the result. So the thing I'm learning from this 3D printer is that if you get ripples, tighten your belts, tighten your screws, and see if it have. If it's still the problem there, try to adjust the nozzle, like increase the distance between the nozzle and the bed just a little bit on the fly, and you're gonna see effect right away if it has or not. Usually it happens, you stop when you get better result with this. And monitoring the first layer is very important to get the good print out of this. In my case, even the second layer is important because you see it get good first layer, but then the second layer is detached from the first one. So if that's what the case with you, try to check with the slicer. In my case, the changing the slicer help with that one. And the last thing about layer shifted, oh my god, I have no idea how to fix that, because with this high speed and it's a big machine like this, anything could happen. But one thing I know for sure that you can reduce the chance by reduce the speed of the machine. So if you can wait a little bit longer, just reduce the speed and it will reduce the chance for you to get layer shifted. Final thoughts about this 3D printer. Does it work to get this one? I would say if you don't really need that big size, I would recommend you to go with better printer like the Neptune 4 or Neptune 4 Plus to save you from headache. It's not the first time I'm working with 3D printer, but I did have to spend a good amount of time to figure things around. Imagine how long it's gonna take you with your learning curves. In case you really have to get this one because you need the big size and you have no other choice, then get ready to deal with the mess. There's a ton of new thing in this one and you have to spend time and patiently learning it. Luckily, there's community to have. You can post the question right here in the comment section, or you can put on Reddit. There are people there already with the problem. They may help you. And I just saw the new firmware showed on the website of Elegoo, so I will get it updated, and then I will see if it improves or not. I cross my finger for this one. So those are the updates I have with this printer. I hope it's useful for you with your 3D printing. And if you like my channel, please subscribe to it so we can see you in the next one. Happy printing!